How's it going? Just getting everything else going. I forgot to. I'm using an old Samsung S5 to stream to Twitter, so I forgot to set that up. And it doesn't have a cellular connection, so I have to use the Wi-Fi here. So hold on. I'm going to try for 4 streaming services at the same time. I mean, why not? Okay, here we go. Go live. You are now live. Oh, wait. Crap. Double tap to flip camera. There we go. I wonder, can I flip this upside down? Nope. Okay. All right, so, hey everybody who's showed up. I got a couple people on Instagram, nobody on the Facebooks yet. And let's see, there we go. I'm here on YouTube as well. So, I just got back from going to the blood test place. LabCorp. Got my blood test for the end of week 5 for my 42 days of Keto Chow. This represents the This represents the end of my the phase where I'm doing basically a ketogenic diet for the thing. I just took blood tests. Well, okay, I've just used my ketone meter to take my glucose. I also took my ketones. They were actually kind of low this morning, only 2.5. So, that kind of stinks, but I was hoping for higher. Last time I did a test back, when I did a test back in, sorry, I'm not going to look at all the cameras at the same time. It's just not going to happen. So, if I'm not looking at you, sorry. Because I got Twitter, I got Instagram. Ooh, Keto Connect joined. Hey guys. And then I got YouTube and Facebook going. Anyway, when I did a test like this with avocado oil back in October, I got all the way up to 2.5 millimolars per deciliter on my ketones, which was kind of cool. And I was hoping to get higher than that when I was doing the coconut oil this time, but I didn't quite get that high. I got up to 5.3 2 nights ago, which was cool. But this morning when I tested, I only got up to candy eating live stream. That's right. I only got up to 2.5 this morning, which was kind of sad. Anyway, so I do have a spreadsheet going where I am going to be recording what my glucose is. And in fact, dang it, I started this this live stream and I didn't have my Keto Chow. So give me just a second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I've got Keto Chow banana, and that'll be fun. Now this is not normal Keto Chow. This is, well, it's abnormal Keto Chow in that instead of using fat in it, I am using, well, I've got some dextrose, and I just have, what's it called? Trying to think while I talk. I have some almond milk, just to give it a little bit more body to it, because otherwise it would just be water along with the Keto Chow. So to explain a little bit, I just finished up 5 weeks of doing keto chow with different types of fat. The first week, I just kind of a washout week. I did heavy cream. Then I did heavy cream again. Now, at each stage during this, after every week, I went and got a bunch of blood tests done. Which did I do? Oh, I did it in my right arm this time. I kind of alternate between arms because otherwise it kind of stinks. But anyway, so yeah, I was getting blood tests throughout the thing. Trying to focus and concentrate at the same time. So yeah, I started with the heavy cream, then I did heavy cream, then I did grapeseed oil, back to heavy cream, then macadamia nut oil, then coconut oil, which I just finished last night. I'm actually very happy to be done with the coconut oil. By the way, you guys can ask me questions either with Facebook or YouTube Live or Instagram or Twitter, and I'll try to answer them as I'm going. And the point of all of this 5-week experiment so far was to figure out what different types of fat do to my blood work. Because when I did the earlier test, I got really weird triglycerides. Now, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. It was the day before yesterday. That's right. I got back the results of my test with. Oh, that's blocking the video. My test with macadamia nut oil. And the reason I went with macadamia nut oil was because it had a higher than any other oil I could find amount of monounsaturated fats. And the avocado oil I had previously used had a large amount of monounsaturated with some polyunsaturated and a little bit of saturated. And I wanted to know what caused the spike in triglycerides. Was it the PUFAs? Was it the MUFAs? I just didn't know. So, you know what? Is that better? Stick something underneath there. Hold on a second. I'm adjusting the. I'll use this. I'll use my 3D printed Keto Chow logo to prop this up. Change the angle a bit. There we go. Where was I? Anyway, so I wanted to know what was the cause of the spike in triglycerides. Turns out it more than likely was the monounsaturated fats, because when I used the macadamia nut oil, super high monounsaturated, and my triglycerides went up. So much so I was so excited about the results that I called up Dave Feldman. I'm like, Dave, and then I got his answering machine. Now I tell people that I'm actually kind of famous now, and I can tell because when I called Dave Feldman, he returns my call. So he called me back. We talked about it for a while. He was pretty excited with the results of the spike in the triglycerides due to the monounsaturated fats from the macadamia nut oil. So yeah, I was pretty jazzed about that. So I don't know if I don't remember if I was done explaining all that. I should have made some talking points before I did all this, but so I am now done with the phase of the experiment where I am doing different fats in my keto chow, and I'm going to start. I'm going to do a 1-week experiment where I'm replacing all of the fats with carbohydrates. Now, if that sounds crazy to you, then we're of one mind. It's absolutely nuts if you ask me, but I decided to do this experiment way back in December, and I actually talked to Dave Feldman about it. I was like, hey, you know what would be cool? A calorie is a calorie, right? So why don't I put that to the test? I'm going to do, throughout this entire experiment, I've done exactly 2,000 calories. Well, okay. Within plus or minus 10 calories of exactly 2,000 calories a day for the entire time. And I've lost, crap, I should have checked that before I started this stream. Um, any chance of Dave Feldman doing this similar experiment, keto chow with different fats? Somebody just asked that on YouTube. Funny you should ask. Dave Feldman actually tried an experiment this last month of replacing all of his meals with a ketogenic meal replacement. It wasn't mine. There's actually a different one called Ketolint. Have you met Ted? Anyway, Ted and I get along great, and both of us we are providing product to Dave to use in his experiments. We're not giving him any money or anything like that, but yeah, we're helping him out so that he can do good science. But Dave had a problem where he was trying to do an experiment where he was doing the ketogenic meal replacement to keep all the variables constant. But he had some electrolyte problems, and so he ended up ditching the meal replacement and going with more traditional keto food. That said, he's getting some good data, and Dave is the one that I got the idea for using Skittles. This is my giant bag of M&Ms and Skittles. This is the stuff I'll be eating. A meal for the next week, in addition to a can of regular Sprite. Sprite has higher sugar than most other sodas. Now, okay, so I'm back on. I don't know if I finished explaining what I was talking about. I'm sorry, I totally got derailed. I'll just kind of go with what's going on. So this part of the experiment, I was going to be doing. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Haha. So I was planning on replacing all of the fat in keto chow with sugar. And the premise is, well, I wanted to find out if indeed a calorie is a calorie, because the way to lose weight is to eat fewer calories than you burn, right? Just like the way to gain wealth is to spend less money than you earn. Both are completely nonsensical. And I've talked about this before. I still haven't had a chance to post about it, but a new podcast that I was in was published today by Ketonian Corner. So if you have a chance, you should check that out after this. But yeah, so I'm of the mind that the keto weight loss it's not. Well, so traditionally, calories in, calories out philosophy is the calories you eat minus the calories you burn equals the calories you save. Okay? So in minus out equals what you are. Everything that I have read, everything that I've seen indicates that it's not actually how it works. Way it actually is calories in minus calories that you save. And you have no control over that. It's completely regulated by your hormones. So calories in minus calories saved equals calories that you are allowed, thank you very much, to burn. Your body says, okay, you haven't saved these ones, so you're allowed to use those. Anyway, it's a slight difference, and I talked about that on one of the 3 podcasts, actually maybe 2 or 3 of the podcasts I was on recently. But I wanted to make that point again. That's the point of this particular phase of the experiment, of week number 6, that I am still going to be having the same 2,000 calories. But instead of those calories coming from different forms of fat, first it was saturated fat, then monounsaturated, back to saturated, to polyunsaturated, then to saturated, then to monounsaturated, then saturated again, and now we're hardly doing any fat at all. I could have replaced all of the calories, all the fat calories in keto chow with sugar, but I didn't want to. And the reason for that is that, I need to adjust this again. There we go. Oh, that's much better. Okay. I didn't want to replace all of them because if I replace all of the calories with no fat at all, I'd be down at like 1% fat, and all that would be coming from the fish oil. Then sometimes you can go into a weird state where it's almost like ketosis, but you're doing it as a carb burner. But you have to have absolutely no fat in your diet at all. It's most people can't do it. I'm able to do it with Keto Chow just because I've got all the protein, all of the vitamins, all the electrolytes, everything but the main source of calories. And for most of my experiment, like I said, I've been using different types of fat to do that. But at this point, I wanted to replace them with sugar. Now, I was going to do it, if you've caught it in my previous updates, I was going to do this with dextrose, which is powdered glucose. It's just pure sugar in glucose form. But I, a couple of days ago, in anticipation of starting this phase of the experiment, I tried mixing some up, and I ended up, it just didn't work out very well. First off, it would not dissolve. There was too much sugar with not enough water, and it basically turned into like syrup. Because I was doing, I think it was 121, I'm actually not sure now, grams of dextrose that I needed, because I needed to get, it was around 16 or 1700 calories worth of sugar into the stuff to replace the fat. It's only 67 milliliters of oil, but oil is a lot more calorie dense than sugar is. So yeah, it wasn't going to work using just pure dextrose, which kind of sucked. It would have made for much cleaner data. So instead, I'm using some dextrose in my Keto Chow, and then I'm going to have to supplement that with soda, regular soda, and with Skittles. And somebody asked, why am I using Skittles? Well, number one, it has a good ring to it. It's kind of, what, you're using Skittles? That's not healthy for you. And also, well, that's what Dave Feldman was using in his experiment. Now, once again, Johnny Rockets, he's on the YouTube stream. He asked, why was I going to be using essentially sugar? Why not something like, oh wait, no, it wasn't him that asked. It was one of his friends or something. You know, why not use flour? Well, I specifically was looking for calories that didn't have any nutritional value. And the reason for that is Keto Chow itself has all the nutritional value I need. I don't need to add additional vitamins. I don't need fiber. I don't need anything. I just need the calories. And it's kind of cool to be able to do an isocaloric experiment where the variable that I'm changing is where are the calories coming from. Whether they're coming from sugar, whether they're coming from saturated fat, whether they're coming from monounsaturated or polyunsaturated fat. I'm able to just tweak that one variable. And I did make fun of Dave because Dave was not able to to pull off the same experiment that I'm doing, but I've also been doing the meal replacements for a bit longer. Anyway, now Kenny Woolhead said could have done pure glucose on the YouTube stream. That's actually what the dextrose is, and that like I said, I tried that, wasn't gonna work. Kind of stinks. And now the offshoot from that is this the Sprite is high fructose corn syrup, which is 55% fructose or fructose, whether you're in the U.S. or somewhere else, or whether you are, it's fructose. Anyway, 55% fructose, 45% glucose. Now the funny thing is, the only difference between that and sugar, table of sugar, sucrose, is 5%. Table sugar is 50% fructose and 50% glucose. And I really wanted to do pure dextrose, but it just wasn't going to work. I mean, I could have like taken the powder and like shoveled it down my mouth, and that wasn't gonna work. So yeah, the Sprite is high fructose corn syrup. The Skittles are sugar, corn syrup, and then hydrogenated palm kernel oil, which is a trans fat. Thank you very much. And then I'm going to be doing a third of a bag per meal, which is 1 bag per day of the M&Ms. And these were really hard to find in this size. I had to go to like 4 different stores to find this specific size, because this was the size I found at the 7-Eleven. So this is the size I was going to go to. Incidentally, for those of you who are wondering, why the heck am I watching this live stream? I mean, when is he going to actually do something? I'm almost to where I'm going to test my blood glucose again. And yeah, so I should probably, I've got 3 minutes before I'm supposed to check my blood glucose again. So let me go ahead. I'm going to drink some of this, and then drink some of this, and then eat some of this stuff. Now, so this isn't regular keto chow. It does have some dextrose in it. It's enough to prevent ketosis, is what it is. Banana. Wow, the almond milk adds a really interesting flavor to it. Huh. So my dad really likes to use almond milk in his keto chow in place of some of the water. He likes the flavor. Specifically, he likes the Great Value brand unsweetened almond milk. I'm using the Blue Diamond brand just because that's what was at Costco. And I'm using the unsweetened because the sweetened would be too sweet in conjunction with the dextrose and everything. So okay, so that's some keto chow. That was awfully sweet. This will be, here we go, the first time I've deliberately eaten sugar in over 3 years. Okay. Well, it tastes kind of like diet soda, but chug, chug, chug. But it's not quite. It has a slightly different flavor to it. Okay. And now for some Skittles. Okay. Incidentally, I have to chew out of this side of my mouth because I got a crown over here right about the beginning of this experiment where and it still hurts to chew. So it's actually been good. I've been on a liquid diet, but well, tastes like Skittles. Okay. Well, it's almost time to check my... Oh, don't talk with your mouth full. It's almost time to check my blood glucose. It'll be interesting to see if it's gone up very much. I'll switch over to that tab. So on the blog post that's accompanying all of this, I have a link to the spreadsheet where this is going on. Yeah. I wanted to make sure I wasn't using my ketone strips. Okay. Actually, I'll probably do a ketone strip right now. Because it'll be the last ones I'll see for a while. My hand is starting to hurt. I've been testing myself a lot lately. Okay. There you go. I don't think I'll see much blood glucose yet. Simply because I just barely ate the stuff. So... okay, so there's glucose. Yeah, so 65. Might as well write that down. 38 and 12.9. Let's see if I can pull off a ketone test off that same hole. Got it. Okay, so my previous glucose test was 61, and this time it was 65. Whew! My ketones actually went up. My ketones were 2.5 millimolars per deciliter when I tested at 10:45 this morning. Now they're at 3.9. So that's funny. They went up. Anyway, so my glucose went from 61 to 65, and my ketones went from 2.5 to 3.9, which is really weird that it would have gone up, but maybe I got a weird test last time. That's why we do a bunch of these. So now I will continue to eat my stuff, my sugar stuff. Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Yeah? So, here we go. More Keto Chow with sugar in it. Now, let's see. Somebody asked. Oh, yeah, you can close that. Somebody asked, before you started keto, did you like Skittles or not your favorite candy even then? Actually, I kind of like Skittles. They remind me of junior high. There was a vending... Oh, dang it, I'm still bleeding. There was a vending machine. You could get Skittles out of them. So every time Well, and that's actually at the same time they introduced the wild berry and all the other weird flavors, the non-red bags of Keto Chow, of Skittles. That's when they introduced them, was when I was in junior high. Hey, I just dated myself. So I actually do quite like Skittles. That said, it's been a long time since I've had candy. So it's going to be really interesting to see what my next glucose test is. And I'll probably... Here, let me add another row, because I'm going to do another test at 11:15. 11:15. Nope. 15. There we go. And the cool thing about Google Docs is you guys are able to watch the spreadsheet update as it goes, right? So, okay. I don't want to just make this a thing of me sitting here drinking. And eating. So, let's talk about flavors of Keto Chow 2.1. You guys ready? So, yesterday, I was working on the just before I went home for the day. I was working on the packaging for Keto Chow 2.1 because I had gotten almost all of them back. I have 4 flavors left that I still need the stuff for. So, we'll just talk about a couple of these, and then I'll eat some more stuff. Try not to eat with my mouth full. Okay, first and foremost, you've all heard about this. Now on Instagram, it's going to be backwards. Sorry. On YouTube and on... is it backwards on... Yeah, it's backwards on Twitter as well. Anyway, so savory chicken soup. There you go. This is roughly what the week bag is going to look like. So it's got the cool picture of the chicken soup. Now, oddly enough, I don't remember if it was my wife or one of the employees recommended this. It doesn't say ultra low carbohydrate meal replacement shake mix. So, all the other ones say shake mix. But, by the way, on YouTube, is my mouth in sync? I tried to fix it. It was out of sync yesterday. Anyway, it should be in sync for everybody else. But, yeah, so all the other ones say meal replacement shake mix, but they're like, it's not really a shake. I'm like, that's a good point. So I did change on the front, and then here on the back, I've got the mixing instructions are slightly different. So, oh, here we go. So many cameras. On most of them, it tells you to, tells you to keep cold after mixing. On the savory chicken soup one, it tells you to keep hot after mixing. And there's an extra step, which is you can add salt and pepper to taste. We have some friends from Texas who just moved up to, it's correct on Facebook, good. Some friends who just moved up from Texas that we met at KetoCon, and I gave one of the flavor samples of savory chicken soup to him, and he's like, it's not as salty as I'd like it to be. He puts salt on everything. he salts his water. So good job, Troy. Anyway, so I add salt and pepper to taste, and it also says to keep hot after mixing. It also has a much longer ingredient list because the flavoring for the chicken, I don't know how they pulled it off, but it is vegetarian. So anyway, somebody asked on YouTube. Sorry, YouTube it's a bit out of sync. There's like there's a 1 or 2 minute delay between when I say something and when it shows up for you guys, and then somebody comments on it. So somebody asked if there's going to be a sample pack of the new flavors. Yes, there is. It's going to be called Sample All the New Things. I actually should have printed one of these out of it. Maybe I'll get to that in a second. We'll have a Sample All the Things of the current flavors. Now, it'll still be version 2.1. And there'll be a second sample pack of Sample All the New Things. The Sample All the Things, I guess we should change it to Sample All the Old Things, will have a blender bottle in it, a Keto Chow blender bottle. The Sample All the New Things will not. And the reason for that is the Sample All the Things only has 8, and the Sample All the New Things has 10 different flavors in it, because we'll have 18 total. And the packaging for the new samples, now hope you didn't see that. The samples currently they actually kind of look like this package of Skittles. The new ones are going to be like it'll be like that. More like what you would expect from a thing of protein powder. So, because people kept on thinking that they were getting a candy bar or something like that. So, remind me. It's actually not moving right now. Hold on a second. We're going with a different type of packaging, just because. Sorry, let me start this up again. Just because it looks better, and we're going to be on a different machine, packaging on a different line. The stick pack line that we were using was designed for small runs, and we were going with the largest size for the samples that they could possibly use. This new form factor for the packaging is more in line with what you would want to use for doing protein powder, which is kind of essentially what we're doing. So, I'm going to eat some Skittles. Because I'm going to test my blood again in another 5 minutes. Let's do one more flavor right now. So, we already did... here we go. You guys will love this flavor. Version 2.1. Chocolate! Psyched you out. Yeah, it's chocolate just like before. Now, in case you didn't know, the difference between 2.0 and the upcoming 2.1, which the reason why I'm talking about the flavors of 2.1 is we're really close to release. Well, not release. We're really close to production, let me say, of the packaging. And I didn't want to get everybody's hopes up and then just have them sitting out there. When am I going to be able to get chicken soup? Well, you'll be able to get it when 2.1 comes out. I'll have a better idea of when for sure we'll have 2.1 out as soon as I get the stuff ordered, the packaging ordered, because that's what we're going to be waiting on with 2.1. So, yeah, that's why I haven't been talking about the flavors up until now. We're going to try and go through almost all of them. There are a couple that I won't be talking about today, but anyway, the big change with 2.0, in addition to the flavors, so most people are just going to, 2.1, most people are going to notice the flavors, but the first ingredient is milk protein isolate, and that's the big from the underground part, behind the scenes. That's the big change in 2.1. We went from whey protein isolate to milk protein isolate. And milk protein isolate, it has a better nutrition profile. It has casein in it, which is the protein in milk, which digests slower. It should be better for fullness. It should also help with insulin, although there's some discussion about whether or not it actually does. Regardless, it's not worse. So, and people I'll be able to get away from it has whey in it, that means it's going to kill my dog. Or slap my children, or some people make some funny assertions about whey protein, but whatever. So, yeah, we're going to milk protein isolate. We're also, it used to be that the choline and the magnesium were part of the vitamin mineral premix. As well as calcium phosphate. With the milk protein isolate, we don't need calcium phosphate anymore because there is sufficient calcium and phosphorus in the milk protein that we don't need to add it. So we took that out, and that actually dropped the amount, the total mass of the vitamin premix almost by half. Well, it was like 0.4 or something like that, 40%. Then I was like, you know what? While I'm at it, why don't I drop the choline and the magnesium at the same time? Because we had been, way back in the day, we'd been using magnesium citrate because that's what was available, and it was better than magnesium oxide because magnesium oxide sucks. Hold on a second. I just realized I'm not sure how well you YouTube people can hear me. There. That should be better. I've been using this microphone, but it was over here on the side. Anyway, that should be much better. So, magnesium. So, we were using magnesium citrate because it was the best thing we could get, but magnesium malate was a better form. So, with the change to 2.1, where we're doing all these other things, I figured it was high time that we ditch the magnesium citrate and go for magnesium malate. The main reason for that is magnesium citrate. If you have a lot of it, it acts as a laxative. Now, we weren't using enough magnesium citrate in Keto Chow for it to ostensibly act as a laxative, but taking it out will probably help people regardless. So, I'm going to check my blood glucose. And now my desk is a little bit more, that's ketone strips. Okay, here we go. Glucose. Now, I wasn't diabetic before I started on keto. I had metabolic syndrome, which means you have several of a couple different problems. But I wasn't diabetic. I didn't have high blood sugar. I was definitely insulin resistant, and you can tell because I was much fattier than I was now. 82! Ha ha! Look at that! It's going up. 82. HCT is 43 and 14.6. I might as well record those. So the Keto Mojo that I'm using, most blood glucose meters just check your glucose. This one also checks your hemoglobin and hematocrit, I think. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, so yeah, I figure I might as well write those down in the spreadsheet while I'm at it. So, ooh, my stomach just started gurgling. Anyway, yeah, so my glucose is definitely going up. We'll see if we can hit 130. Anyway, oh, and the audio is better now, I bet. So let's see, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, we're using a different type of magnesium. And yeah, we are originally with Keto Chow 2.1. We were going to be using a milk protein that was non-lecithinated or instantized. When you powder the whey, you spray dry it, and it ends up with these very fine particles. You use lecithin, which is an extract from oil. Normally you get it from soybean oil, but you can also get it from sunflower oil. It does not contain any, so soy lecithin doesn't contain any soy protein. But that doesn't stop people from absolutely freaking out if you have soy lecithin in your product. Because they're like, oh, it's got soy, it's going to make me grow boobs or something like that. So I was really happy with Keto Chow 2.02, sorry, when we switched from, I think I need to blow my nose, when we switched from soy lecithin, sunflower, we switched from soy lecithin to sunflower lecithin. So we no longer had to say contains soy, because it didn't actually contain soy protein, it contained soy lecithin. And people who are allergic to soy can still have soy lecithin. Excuse me for a second. I had a tickle in my nose. This is glamorous, right? I loved watching the playback of this. So we switched from soy lecithin to sunflower lecithin, mostly just because I wanted to stop hearing the complaints. And now we don't have to say contains soy. But anyway, you put the lecithin on there because it clumps up those little tiny particles into a more manageable size, and so when you scoop out the protein, the scoop comes clean. With non-lecithinated, it comes away powdery, kind of like powdered sugar, which I haven't had in 3 years. But excuse me. So we ultimately found another milk protein that is lecithinated, just because, among other things, it also makes the stuff mix up better. And I was running into problems with my testing of Keto Chow 2.1 where I'd get a couple of little globs, and it was hard to mix up with a blender. So, wow, 43 minutes so far. Okay, so I'm going to drink some more of this. Yeah, it definitely tastes different than Keto Chow normally does. And I wouldn't expect this to spike my blood sugar very much, just because I've added some carbs to it. Not a lot. It'll be the Sprite and the Skittles that'll spike it more than anything. Okay, done. Meal one done. So, should we talk about another flavor? This one for real. Okay, this is the one that you guys almost saw. It was on the back of the chicken soup one. This one was entirely for my wife. I like to joke around that I make Keto Chow just for me, and you guys can kind of come along for the ride. And if you like it, that's great, but it's for me. This one was for her. Chocolate toffee. You might know chocolate toffee by the name of Heath. So it's Heath bar flavored. This is one we've actually been playing around with for, better part of a year. Our co-packer, we were talking about different flavors, and he said, you know what you need to do is you just need to, you need to tell us. You just need to go to this flavor house. Sorry, someone asked a question. Yeah, don't worry, Emily. I'll get to it. You just need to go to this flavor house, see what flavors they have available, see if you can customize them a little bit, and get them made for you. And so one of the first ones we got was chocolate toffee. So it does taste quite a lot like a Heath bar. It's got a little bit of the chocolate in there, a little bit of the toffee in there. And it was actually very, very difficult to find this picture. Thank you very much. I was going to use, there's a, if you go to the Wikipedia page about Heath bars, there's a photo of a Heath bar snapped in half that is, it's Creative Commons licensed, commercial use, no attribution required. I was going to use that, but Miriam wanted to use this one. And it does have nuts on it on this picture, which it doesn't really taste like nuts in the Keto Chow one, but I just wanted to put a picture of a Heath bar on there with the label and everything, but that way, so people when they're like chocolate toffee. Anyway, it's Heath bar. So that's what that's all about. Yeah, that's about it. Where am I gonna put the ones I'm done with? I'll put them over here. Okay, eat some more Skittles. Hold on a second. I need to try and get my blood sugar up. In case you're coming to this a little late, what I'm doing is replacing all of my the fat in my Keto Chow with sugar. And so I'm doing a bag of Skittles per meal, a Keto Chow that has sugar in it, a can of Sprite, and a third of a bag of M&Ms. And I might open that up and have some of those, but it's almost time to check my blood glucose again. I'm going to have to change hands pretty soon because I've been testing with my left hand. But when you can see all of the little pricks from the last couple weeks showing through your fingerprints, probably should switch to my right hand. Yeah. Let's see. Eating Skittles on camera. Funny thing is, I got more people on. Yeah, I got more people on YouTube Live than any other service. I don't even think I have. Do I have anybody on? Oh no, I've got 4 people on Twitter. Cool. Oh. Maybe it's 4 total. And right now I got 0. Yeah. Ooh, my kids just turned off. One of my kids just turned off their phone. Because it notifies me when that happens. Anyway. Let's see. It's almost time to test my blood glucose again. Let's see. Do I want to talk about that guy just right now? Maybe in a bit. In case you can't see it, it's that thing over there. Or, I don't know what angle. It's this guy in the corner. So what that is, maybe I'll tell you what it is, not what it's for just yet. That's a Raspberry Pi, kind of like this guy. Raspberry Pi 3, whereas this is a Raspberry Pi 1. Malachi W just asked something. Don't M&Ms have fat? Yes, they do. So do Skittles. Skittles don't have much. 2.5 grams of fat in 61 grams. The reason I am doing bubble in my throat. The reason why I am doing M&Ms, I'm actually doing it specifically. I'm doing it intentionally. And the reason for that is if you get your fat intake far enough down to down to like 1 or 2 or 3% of your total calories, you different people. I'm not sure what happened to me, but I want to prevent this from happening. Some people can actually kind of enter a state of like quasi ketosis, where their blood work starts to improve, almost like it would. Excuse me, sorry, almost like it would if they were doing keto instead of doing carb burning. And I want it to be, instead of and you see this with people who do a super vegetarian diet, where they're doing, I think it's what's that dude's name? Oh, it's right there on the tip of my tongue. Oh, the guy, Ornish diet. When people do like a very strict, I think it's Ornish diet, where there's almost no fat at all. You're just having like wheat and carbs and stuff like that, and some protein, but you have almost none. Oh, Keto Ellie. I'll get to you in a second about that. When you have almost no fat at all, yeah, then you'll start to. It almost looks like you're on a ketogenic diet, and I wanted to prevent that from happening. So I'm having enough fat in my, and it's like 10 to 15% is what I'm hitting. It's enough that that won't happen to me. I'm actually, as far as macronutrients go, closer to a standard American diet. Or at least, sorry, not a standard American diet, because standard American diet is a higher amount of fat than what I will be doing. So I wanted to get closer to the recommended macronutrients that the American Heart Association and American Diabetes Association recommends. Of course, I'm doing it exactly not the way that they would recommend, by eating sugar, but everybody says a calorie is a calorie, right? What's wrong with sugar? It doesn't have any nutrients in it. I'm getting all my nutrients from the Keto Chow, so it shouldn't matter. So haters gonna hate, right? Anyway, got a couple minutes just before I have to do my next test. Keto Ellie, Ellie, I'm not sure which one. Just asked. She's just waiting for you to tell me you found a stash of cookies and cream and are going to update your website. So, not as yet, but the place that we use for our manufacturing, they're actually supposed to be getting back to me maybe today or so. They're the same people who I've been waiting on for the packaging information. So when I told them that we ran out of cookies and cream, and then that we ran out of peanut butter, and we're actually about to run out of chocolate too. He said, "Oh crap! Well, let me see what we still have," because they still had some of the. Right hand. Don't want to do my right hand. They still had some of the bags for version 2.0 left, and there's still some of the other ingredients for 2.0 left over, but they had fulfilled our purchase order. So he was going to basically just, any bags that he has left over, he was going to make into Keto Chow weeks, which includes some cookies and cream and some peanut butter. Now, we're not talking about a lot. We're not talking about several hundred. We're talking about a couple dozen, which, I mean, it's not the best of news, but we will have some. Ooh, 98. 98. 38% HCT and 12.9 hemoglobin. Okay. That's going up. Yeah, so we will have some cookies and cream, and I'm not sure when is the problem. And it'll be the sort of thing that I'll announce it in the blog, I'll announce it on Twitter, I'll announce it on whatchamacallit, Reddit and stuff like that, but it'll kind of be a first come first serve sort of thing. Which just reminded me, hold on just a second, I forgot to put a link to this. My nose itches. Forgot to put a link to this on the Keto Chow subreddit. Submit link. Submit link. Go for it. Come on. Just, so more people can tune in. I think I'm bleeding all over my mouse right now. You suggest a title. Okay. So, do you have any samples? Samples of the cookies and cream? We do have that. We actually are completely stocked on all of the samples right now. In fact, they're on sale. So if that's what you're looking for, yeah. Now, the samples of the new flavors that are coming out, we won't have those. And that's something else I can talk about while I'm waiting for time to be my next result. Maybe I'll just do these every 15 minutes just to call it good. Take that out. So, hold on. 30, change the time period. Oh, dang it. Hold on. 12:30. Oh, I got these out of order. Hold on a second. I have to fix my spreadsheet. Sorry. Seriously? 11:30, 12. What time is it now? 12:02? I'm on Mountain Time. Let's see if that works. Oh my gosh. 11, 11:15, 11:30, 12. Sorry. This has got me, I'm trying to fix the, did I do it at 11:45? Hold on a second. I did. That was the 82. Okay. You know what? Let's go back. Back. Sorry. I'm not meaning to completely derail things here. Okay, that's where I messed up. 11:45. Okay, it's because I didn't do one at 11:15. That's what it was. Okay, fixed. Okay. Yo, the J Creasy. Where was I at? Samples. We do have samples in stock. We have samples of, they're on sale this week. We will have samples of the, that's what I was going to talk about, version 2.1. Yesterday when I talked to the manufacturing people, I said, hey, I don't know if any of you remember back when we introduced Keto Chow 2.0. There was a rather significant snafu about samples. We were trying to have the people who did the week bags also do the packaging of the samples. We tried that for like 6 months and it didn't work. Finally, we had one of their competitors, a different packaging facility here in town, do the packaging of the samples. And that worked out great. And that's who we're actually going to use for the new stuff as well. Because they are able to handle the where is it? This type of the packaging. So, yeah, we're going to have them do it as well. So, but it took forever to find those guys, and it just kind of sucked. With version 2.1, we are going to be setting ourselves up for success. Oh, I only have 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold on a second. I'm going to have to go live again on Instagram. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm live again on Instagram. Apparently you're limited to an hour live on Instagram. That's interesting. I did not know that. I think I'm limited to like 2 hours on Facebook and Yeah. So, here we are back on Instagram. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. I'm also on Twitter, but nobody's on Twitter right now. So when we do the samples for version 2.1, we're going to send the stuff off for package. We're going to send off the packages for printing, the packaging for printing. The packages for the sampling is going to come back quite a bit sooner than the packaging for the week bags. I see that as a okay thing, because we're going to, there'll be number one, people are going to want the samples before anything else, and so they can try out, especially the new flavors. And so we don't really need the week bags for a couple weeks probably until after we get the samples. So what we're going to do is the packaging for the samples is going to be done first. And I'm going to try, as soon as I submit the packaging to be printed, I'm going to have the manufacturing place make the bulk powder that's going to be packaged for the samples right then and there. So it is ready to go as soon as the Keto Chow 2.1 packaging for samples shows up. So we should be getting samples of 2.1 before we get anything else. And these guys have actually been really fast. When we've had the packaging for them, and we've been on their schedule, and we've had the powder, it only takes them, it's like a week to do, it's almost 100,000 samples. I mean, they're insanely good. And then we have to somehow get it over here, so to our warehouse. But so I'm anticipating that the situation with samples with 2.1 is not going to be the same that it was with 2.0, and that we're going to have the samples for 2.1 in a good time period. And so, yeah. All right. So let's see. I got a couple minutes before my next blood test. Eating Skittles again. And for those of you who are just joining, again, I'm eating sugar this week for science. And then right now I'm recording my blood test. Cookies and cream, yes. We'll be getting cookies and cream with 2.1. In fact, that's where you're going to see cookies and cream show up in stock again, is when we get the 2.1. So let's hope that goes fast. Let's see. Mocha. Mocha has the proud distinction of being the only flavor of Keto Chow that I have not and will not taste. And that's because I think that coffee smells like burnt toast. And somebody asked me yesterday about Mocha. I told them that I think it tastes like burnt toast, and they said, I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm not. Brian Williamson, the keto evangelist, doesn't like coffee either. He drinks it, though, but anyway, a lot of people really like Mocha. Sure. You're on your own, though. Next flavor. Well, I'll do this one first. Chocolate peanut butter. Again, we're out of stock on this right now. When we get version 2.1, in this case version 2.1.0, that's when we will again have chocolate peanut butter in stock, which really sucks. It has not been any fun at all to be out of stock of this right now, because everybody's like, when are you going to get chocolate peanut butter back in? I'm like, I wish it was next week, because holy cow, it's my favorite flavor, and it sucks to be out of stock of it. Well, let me eat my Skittles. Okay. This is almost a new flavor. It's not really a new flavor, because the flavor is the same. You're well familiar with it. But, here you go. Natural strawberry. Difference between natural strawberry and the current strawberry that we have is that, hold on a second. Oh, there's people leaving. think it's just me here now. I'm here at the warehouse in my little office thing, and it's almost time for everybody to go home. So, because they've shipped everything out. Anyway, natural strawberry is very much like the strawberry that you're familiar with, but this one is sweetened with natural monk fruit. So, when we went to KetoCon, we had a lot of people who gave us a lot of pushback on the fact that we use sucralose. The Keto Connect people tested sucralose. I did a 4-week experiment where I had Keto Chow every day, and the only artificial sweetener I was having was sucralose, and it was absolutely fine. I got up to 5.5 on my ketones. Ketosis went along just fine. I lost weight. Everything was great. But people are still funny about sucralose. And it's more a factor of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. They hear different stuff, so they're like, oh, well, that must not be good because blah, blah, blah said it. In the end, yeah. So if that's a concern for you, if sucralose is a concern, I had thought about doing all of the flavors sweetened with monk fruit. It's more expensive, but I sent a questionnaire to a bunch of our customers, basically everyone who had ordered over $1,000 worth of stuff in the last 3 months, and said, hey, would you be interested in us switching to sucralose switching to monk fruit or something else instead of sucralose, with the understanding that it might cost more and it might change the flavor. And I think I had 1 or 2 people who said, yes, I want you to do that. Almost everybody else said, no, do not mess with it. This is what I use for food. Don't mess with it. Leave it alone. I love the way it tastes. I love how it's working for me. Please don't change it. So we're not going to. But monk fruit lends itself to a fruity flavor very well. So we're going to have one flavor that is sweetened with monk fruit, and that will be the natural strawberry. So no sucralose in this. Also, you can get the base powder and make almost any protein powder you want into a sucralose free version. So anyway, natural strawberry. I need to drink some more of my stuff and eat some more of my Skittles. And besides that, as Vux911 just said, sucralose. Now there was a Living La Vida Low Carb podcast a couple months ago, where it was the guy who ran Keto.com, and they had a whole bunch of ketogenic products way back in the day, and Jimmy doesn't like sucralose, and he was like, well, why did you guys use sucralose? Why didn't you use something else? And he said, well, sucralose tastes the best. And I'm not going to argue with that. As far as I can tell, this is the first time I've had sugar in 3 years. Doesn't taste much different than sucralose does. And I often work with pure sucralose. Sorry. Just asked, is the strawberry going up in price in 2.1? Now that's a good question. Now, there's the natural strawberry, and then there's the regular strawberry. The regular strawberry will be the same price as the other ones. Now, I don't know actually what pricing is going to be doing with version 2.1. I'm cautiously optimistic I might be able to lower the price a bit. I don't know how much, but it's supposed to cost me less. We're going to see. Because I'm ramping... Here I am talking with my mouth full again. Oh, I'm supposed to be checking my blood. So I'll do that while I'm chewing. I'll talk about the pricing in just a second. Click. We go right hand again. I hate testing on my right hand. I'm really glad I never got diabetes and had to do this every day. Like I've been having to do for forever. Okay. 103. I wonder if I can... I think I can totally do a ketone test off this one. You know, because these things are $1 a test. Let's just burn through them. Okay. I'm going to have a really nice pile of blood test strips after this is all done. So last time I tested, I was at 3.9. Now I'm at 2.6. Okay. Anyway, so let's see. We were talking about price. So when I started version 2.0 back in when I got the pricing for that was in November of 2016. It wouldn't be until March or so that we would actually see 2.0 come out. But I don't even know why I'm bothering with live streaming on Twitter. I might shut that one off. Here, hold on a second. One less thing to look at. Swipe down to stop. There we go. Okay, Twitter's off. Okay, so when I first got started with 2.0, the volumes that I was asking them to manufacture was kind of along the lines of what I was manufacturing myself at the time. So we're talking like, I think I asked for like 300 of the chocolate and like 250. You know what? I can actually even tell you. Hold on a second. Where's my mouse? There's my mouse. It was relatively low amounts of product, and so the pricing that they gave me was based off of low volumes. Well, since then we've scaled up a couple orders of magnitude as far as the numbers that we're ordering from them. Instead of ordering a couple hundred, we're ordering a couple thousand of each flavor each time. And we're also switching to different stuff. Yeah. No, I asked for 1,000 chocolate, 1,000 vanilla, 800 peanut butter, 500 cookies and cream, 400 strawberry, 400 caramel, which turned out to be way inadequate, and 400 mocha, and only 100 banana. The banana was right on. Anyway, so yeah, we're doing much larger volumes, and so this time when I came back and said, hey, I'm ordering a lot more stuff now. I want to see what sort of price you can give me. So it will be interesting. I can't promise that the cost of Keto Chow 2.1 is going to be less. I guess I'm thinking it will be. It might be along the same lines of when we went from 1.9 to 2.0. Everybody was expecting us to increase the price, and we didn't. We actually dropped the price. And I expect the same thing's going to happen. I don't know how much, though. I'd really, really like to find that out. First, I gotta get the packaging going. That's the number one priority right now. Okay, we were talking about strawberry and strawberry. Yeah. So this is the one with monk fruit. It probably will cost more because monk fruit is insanely expensive, like really, really expensive. Like to buy a 20 kilogram bag, depending on the concentration that you get. If it's it's the mangosteen or something like that. Anyway, it comes in 25, 40, and 50% concentration packages. And if I remember correctly, if you get the most concentrated one, the one that's 50% concentrated, to buy a 20 kilogram package, which is 44 pounds, is almost $9,000 for the ingredient. That's a lot. Now, you can make an awful lot of keto chow with that, but it's very expensive. And if we were going to be doing all of them, it was going to be like a $3 or $4 price increase per bag to do the monk fruit. And I'm assuming that that's actually what's going to happen with the natural strawberry. So that's my guess. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I do have that one. Okay. Here we go. New flavor. Not an old flavor. This is a new flavor. Everybody ready? Pumpkin spice caramel. Down there. Up here. I should have had better printouts for these. But, yeah. I was going to try and get this one for the holiday season. But it wasn't ready in time. And if you've listened to anything I've been talking about, you've probably heard me previously announce that we're going to have eggnog, simply because I love eggnog. Anyway, pumpkin spice caramel. Yep. It's coming. And funny thing is, so it's got it's not just pumpkin spice, it's pumpkin spice caramel. And because it does have a caramelish flavor to it. Now, the funny thing is, so in the ingredients, you've got, all the normal stuff that is in all the flavors of keto chow, and then down at the very bottom you've got pumpkin pie spice, and it's because I'm putting pumpkin pie spice into it, because it turns out that you can put the actual spice in it for a lot less than the flavoring house stuff is, and then it adds an even better flavor to it. So the eggnog flavor has nutmeg in it, so it does have a little bit of a grit to it, just because of that. And the pumpkin spice caramel does have pumpkin spice in it. And let's see, do I have that other one here? Oh, there it is. Holy cow, what happened to this printout? Dude, I need to clean my printer. Anyway, the other one that has actual spices in it is Snickerdoodle. We had Snickerdoodle with version 1.9, and it's because we were using off-the-shelf Dymatize Elite 100% Whey protein powder. And Snickerdoodle was one of the flavors that they had available. It was actually one of the newer flavors. Well, when we went to 2.0, I tried to get Snickerdoodle up and running, ready to go in time, and it just wasn't ready. And I didn't want to hold back all of Keto Chow 2.0 just for the one flavor. So it was an unfortunate what's it called? Byproduct. No. Anyway, it kind of fell by the wayside. It didn't get released. We've been still working on it. Anyway, it's ready to go. It's very creamy. It tastes a lot, really cinnamony, and it has actual cinnamon in the mix as well. So it's been a while since I've had Keto Chow 1.9 Snickerdoodle, but it tastes pretty much the same as far as my remembrance goes. Emily said that she thought that the pumpkin was going to be creamsicle flavored. Well, when I went to Keto Chow 2.0, one of the flavors that I wanted to try was orange creamsicle. That is one of the 4 flavors that I don't have done yet because I haven't gotten the information yet. So I don't have a really cool... Dang it, I just showed that one. I don't have a really cool printout to show you. But orange creamsicle is one of the new flavors that's coming out as well. And so in that, the picture that I had put up on Instagram about a month ago that had all the different colors because we were doing the color tests, that was the orange color, was the creamsicle. So yeah, orange creamsicle is coming, and it tastes orangey. And I actually had to take a break from it for a while. When I was in San Francisco back in October, that is the flavor that I had most of the time. And I got a little bored of it because I had it for 3 meals a day for 5 days. And the first day that I had it was when I learned that you don't put oil into a container with Keto Chow and let it sit there for a couple hours and then try to add water, because it won't mix. It will not mix. If you have that, you'll end up with this kind of crunchy powder that tastes like orange creamsicle, which is good. And then on top of that, one of my kids had borrowed that Hydro Flask and left Keto Chow in it, and it had gone bad, and that smell never comes out. And I didn't realize that that's what it was. And so every time I would take a drink, I was just like, oh, why does this taste so bad? I'm like, what's wrong with the creamsicle? Yeah, it was because I was tasting spoiled Keto Chow that was like impermeated into the lid. Anyway, I ended up buying a new lid, and then it was fine. But yeah, so orange creamsicle is coming. And I guess I gave this one away. This one's for my wife. She wanted this one. She campaigned for this one. She demanded that we get this one to test. And so we did. Raspberry cheesecake. I actually wanted blueberry cheesecake. And that's what I originally had of the cheesecake family. And we already had a strawberry flavor. And she thought that we should have raspberry, and she thought that we should have raspberry cheesecake. So she got her way. It's raspberry cheesecake. I still have the blueberry cheesecake that I'm playing around with. I don't know if it'll ever see the light of day, but yep. And this one is a kind of a pink flavor. So let's see. Oh, it's almost time to test my blood again. 12:30. Let's eat some Skittles. They're Christmas Skittles. It grosses my wife out when I lick the blood off my finger. 123. Who knew? Eating sugar? Hmm. 15.3. It's amazing. You never would have thought that eating sugar would raise your blood glucose, right? Let's look at the sugar chart. Oh, that's a nice curve going up. Anyway, so let's see. What was I talking about? New flavors. Well, let's take a break and appease Emily. We'll go back to the thing in the background. It's a Raspberry Pi that has a built-in monitor. Raspberry Pi is here. And the monitor, and it has a Lego piece for attaching stuff. It's kind of funny. Now, that's what it is. What it does is something completely different. So it's running a program called Logstalgia, which is it called a portmanteau? Portmanteau. Anyway, it's a mixture of a log analyzer and nostalgia. So what it is it's a Pong game where the balls, every time there's a ball that's sent, that is somebody hitting the Keto Chow blog, and then it bounces it back. And you've got a little paddle that shows up. And so when there's more traffic on the site, then it lights up. And when there's less traffic on the site, not quite so much. So I wonder if I can get it to do it. Let's see. If I go to ketochow.xyz, give it a second and it should, as it loads all the images and stuff like that, it should send a bunch of them. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what it is. It's a log analyzer. Keeps track of what's going on. Yeah, there's a couple of them. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. Portmanteau. Is that how you pronounce it? Okay. Hey, learn something new every day. I did as a kid. I used to think annihilate and annihilate were two different words that meant the same thing. Well, it's spelled with an E, right? Annihilate. Anyway, so yeah, that it just kind of sits there and keeps track of how many people are hitting the blog. Doesn't really do much. I mostly just use that as a test bed for testing things out. I have several Raspberry Pis here and more at my house. I've got one that is a phone server. If you want to have fun, try calling the Keto Chow phone number, 385-645-5386 or 5385, and select that you're from a call center. So that's a phone server. It's running asterisk, and you'll be connected up to a not real human called Lenny, who's very old and senile, and will repeatedly ask you to repeat yourself over and over again. It's really fun for all the people who call wanting to optimize my website and sell me stuff. So, and up until recently, I wasn't here at the office. I was working somewhere else. So, I didn't care to talk to phone solicitors. Anyway. Yes, that's what's going on back there. Okay. This was, aside from eggnog. Eggnog is one of my favorite flavors in the whole world. My second most favorite flavor in the whole world. For a couple of years, I lived down in Chile, actually. Y para que sepan, ellos no les gusta. Oh, I won't talk to you in Spanish, or Castilian as we prefer. Anyway, there's a couple of different things that they don't like in Chile, or actually most of South America. They don't have ranch down there. Maple syrup is a completely foreign concept to them. And they have a bunch of medicines that are flavored like sarsaparilla. And so they don't like root beer. I like root beer. I like root beer a lot. And we have a couple employees who they will buy the vanilla Keto Chow and then put a little bit of root beer extract into their Keto Chow to make a root beer float flavor. Because you've already got heavy cream or avocado oil in there. Root beer float? Oh yeah. There you go. Anyway, so to tie that in, they don't like root beer flavor down in Chile. I really like it. I spent a couple of years not having it and pining away for it. There was a really fun story about a guy, a shop owner, who accidentally got some root beer, and we're like, "Hey, where'd you get this from?" And he's like, "Oh, I accidentally got it. I'm trying to get rid of it." We're like, "Do you know where you can get more of that?" He's like, "Why?" Like, "Well, we got a bunch of our friends from the U.S. who are going to be over by here tomorrow, and you should probably get some more of this." And he's like, "Nah, I don't want to get." Yeah, he's sold out. So the next time we were having a little meetup like that, well, we came by the next day, and he's like, "When are you guys going to have another one of those?" And we're like, "We're having another one in a couple weeks." It's like, "When?" So we told him. He borrowed a refrigerator from a friend and completely stocked it with root beer. And in the middle of the meeting, somebody found out that the little store, and they're just they call them negocios. They're just kind of like it's somebody's. They've converted their, well, if they had a garage, if they had a car, they would convert it to it. But they just convert like the front room of their house into a little store where they sell bread and little bags of flour and little bags of sugar, and you can buy a can of Coke, and you can buy this and that and the other. And so he had 2 fridges completely full of root beer. Like, he sold out. He completely sold out. Halfway through the meeting, well, so somebody found out about that there was root beer next door at the beginning of the meeting. Halfway through the meeting, he was sold out because people kept leaving to go and buy root beer. And a couple weeks later, we were going to have another one of those, and we're like, "Hey, just so you know," he's like, "I can't find it anymore." We're like, "What?" He's like, "I'm so sad. I can't find the root beer anymore." So he missed out. And that next meeting, everybody kept coming back. Well, they kept going over and asking the guy if he had root beer. So it's another one of the new flavors in Keto Chow 2.1, root beer float. So, well, we're getting down to the end of the new flavors. Salted caramel, it's coming back. All the 2.0 flavors are coming back. Vanilla is also coming back. And I'm trying to remember what is left. Give me just a second. I'll just talk about those because I don't have the artwork yet. Skittles. With one side of my mouth. Thank you. Okay. Banana is coming back. I already talked about eggnog. Orange cream. I'm calling it orange cream, not orange creamsicle, because I believe orange creamsicle is a registered trademark. So I'm not going to go there. There's only one flavor left. So let me eat some more of these while you die to know what it is. So let's see. If you think back to the post, yeah, root beer is one of my favorite drinks too. If you think back to the color post, any of you who saw it, there's only one color that was in that I haven't talked about yet, and it's the last flavor. I guess I should be enjoying these more. Does anybody remember what that color is? Come on, Emily. Green! Yep, it's green. The final flavor is the green one. And once again, I'm sorry that there's a lag on between when I say stuff and when you see it on YouTube and when I respond to you. But anyway, yeah, the final flavor is the green one. Now I'm eating M&Ms. Huh. So there's a lot of keto friendly chocolates that are available, and honestly, these M&Ms aren't any better. And I just made the mistake of chewing with the right side of my mouth. Hold on, I'm trying to spike my blood sugar a bit. Now I'll eventually tell you what the green one is. Let's see. You know, I'm gonna, while I'm hanging out here, because I'm trying to get myself the next 3 minutes to get to the my next blood test. Give me just a second, and I'm going to print the graphic that we're going to be using for the whatchamacallit, the one that we're going to be using for orange cream and for the other one that I haven't told you what it is yet. For that matter, I'm going to get eggnog too. Okay. Print. Where is it? Okay, hold on a second. Let me combine these in. Sorry, this is absolutely riveting, right? I'm surprised so many of you have stuck through, especially on the whatchamacallit, the YouTube stream. And the sad thing about all these Skittles that I'm eating is that this is breakfast. I was fasting for my blood test. I mean, so I'm eating breakfast right now. I'm gonna have to do lunch again after this, and then dinner, because I want to keep the test isocaloric. So I'm eating the same number of calories every time. Crap. Okay. I think this is gonna work. So when we get done with the blood test, I'll be able to show you the graphics for the other ones. I wonder if anybody's on the YouTube one. I mean, on the Facebook one. If they are, the YouTube stream is much higher quality. It's a better camera. Just so you know. Oh, one person's on the YouTube, Facebook stream. Yeah, you should go to the YouTube one instead. Just saying. Okay. Where's my mouse? All right, let's get set up for the next blood test. 12:45. So did I finish this? Okay. Here we go. I'll do the left hand this time. Let me give my right hand a break. It's hard to type when you're bleeding. Ooh, that's a bleeder. Crap. I didn't get the glucose test strip ready first. Okay. There we go. All right, I'm clearly not diabetic because I can't do this right. Okay, 129, 36. And again, the other numbers that I'm putting into the spreadsheet don't really matter much. It's hemoglobin and hematocrit, which those it's just I'm writing them down because the data's there. So there's very clearly a jump from eating sugar compared to well, I have my earlier tests on this same spreadsheet where I did Keto Chow, and it's pretty notable, the difference. With Keto Chow, my blood glucose didn't even get above 100. It went from 70 something up to what? The highest it got was 96. Whereas right now my blood sugar's at 129. That chart. What's going on here? A second. Data. Remove. Why is that even on there? Remove. There we go. There was some weird extra stuff that had gotten in there. So, let me go grab those printouts. I'll be right back. Hey, my Skittles are gone. Take one down. I'll eat some M&Ms while I'm at it. Okay. Okay, I'm back. In case you didn't notice. So, you guys missed me while I was gone? No, I haven't said what the green one is. Okay. So, here you got eggnog. It looks eggnoggy, right? Took me a long time to find a good picture of eggnog, right? Here you got... Ooh. That's kind of backlit. Here you got the orange cream. And okay. There you go. Chocolate mint. That's what the green is. So, yeah, that's all the new flavors of Keto Chow 2.1. So, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, that's about it. I don't know how much more relevant I could make the broadcast now that I've given that information away. But yeah, I'm going to continue testing my blood glucose for a couple more hours. I guess I might as well keep the every 15 minutes going, because that's what I was doing. Just so that the graph has a nice linear or whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. Anybody have any other questions for me? I mean, I've kind of rambled on for an hour and 45 minutes. Let's see, why am I growing a beard? Well, that's easy. It's because I couldn't grow one at my last job. And so I'm just growing one out to see what it's like. Anyway, so yeah, I guess I'll it's in another like 30 minutes or so I need to eat my lunch if I'm going to have all 3 meals today, because I basically did intermittent fasting this morning. So okay, well, thanks everybody for joining, and I guess I'll go answer the 24 freaking emails that I have waiting for me. Okay. All right. So long. Okay, that's Instagram out. That's Facebook out. And, well, so long, YouTube. Guess I can actually look at the camera. I keep forgetting which one to look at, and now there's only one of them going, so yeah. All right.